Hello, I'm Sumaya O'Grady, and today I'll be channeling Mother Mary on the question of the day. And the questions will be posed by my dear friend, Cynthia Stott, Global Visibility Influencer. Cynthia, would you like to say hello?
Hi, Sumaya. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to see the answers that we get from Mother Mary.
Yes, me too. I'll be excited to see what questions you ask. So this is very impromptu. This is very impromptu, and so we will see what Mother Mary would like to bring forth today. And usually when I channel, I have my eyes closed. So I will do that now to connect into Mother Mary. And go ahead, Cynthia, take it away.
Great. So since I'm a global visibility influencer, I really have a, a heart for the whole world. And so I want to focus my questions today on the state of our consciousness in a global state and also in the US, since this is our country here. And there seems to be a lot of fear and trepidation and maybe even despair in our country and in the world. And I would just love to hear from Mother Mary. Is there anything that we can do, that I can do individually, and that we can do here on the call that would help to shift that in some way? Yeah, so we'll just start with that. Is there some way that we can shift ourselves to support higher consciousness?
Yes, beloved, there is something you can do. And the first thing is to be aware that there is a great deal of illusion being propagated by people who have their own agenda on this planet, and it is not the highest agenda of divine love. And the agenda is designed to turn people away from love and to keep them in fear. And so much of what people are seeing in the world and becoming frightened about is not in fact happening, or in some cases it is happening, but it is greatly distorted. And there is, as you like to say, a negative spin being placed on these events. And so the first thing is to be aware of that it's important to always keep your minds and hearts connected to the greatest love that you can experience when you are out in the world, and to give gratitude and love to all who you meet, even if you do it silently. Because fear does not exist in an attitude of love, gratitude, forgiveness. These are all cures for the very things that are happening now, which are causing people so much fear and anxiety. So, to conclude, number one, much of these things are made up and are not real, because there is a great amount of divine assistance that is always present and can be tuned into. Humanity is going through a major shall we say, transmutation. And this transmutation does cause a certain amount of turmoil and uncertainty. However, it is a transmutation of the cocoon into the butterfly. And it is something to be looked forward to rather than to be feared. And the way to continue through this transmutation is to always know that you are loved, that there is so much love available that is being poured onto this planet from multiple sources, that anywhere you are, stop, tune out of the anxiety. If you need to touch your heart and just say, I love you. This practice will begin to shift your consciousness and will change how you perceive events and will change how you respond to events, because it is how you respond that will change everything. Blessed be.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mother Mary.
Would you like to ask another question, Cynthia?
Yeah, I'm just tapping in here to see what to ask.
Take your time.
I want to follow the train of gratitude and how, as you mentioned, that to be in a space of gratitude. And I know that gratitude brings love and helps to overcome fear and anxiety. And it's really difficult for humans to be in a state of gratitude and a negative state at the same time. So can you say more about that and gratitude and its importance, and maybe even how to grow our gratitude? Because sometimes we're in a state where we know we need to be grateful and that will help things, but it's really hard to bring that gratitude in that moment. And if we can make that shift to the gratitude, then the peace and love and joy and even bliss can follow. So do you have any tips for us humans for how to tap more into that gratitude?
Yes. Humanity in general has some interesting misunderstandings about gratitude. There is the thought that you express gratitude only for the things that you like and that you are happy about. And as you have pointed out, Cynthia, this does not always work, because while it is good and it is extremely positive to express gratitude for those good things, it is important to express gratitude for the difficulties as well. The difficulties and the challenges are passing, and they are here, as I said before, to challenge you to respond in a particular way, and that your response is what changes your reality in a positive way. And so, one of the best responses is to respond with gratitude no matter what you are presented with. And at first it may seem
Beautiful.
phony. It may seem like, well, I don't really believe this. However, you can say something to yourself like, I hope to be more grateful for this in the future. I am wishing to be grateful for this right now. or something like
Mm.
that, because it does not matter that you qualify it. What matters is that you are moving in the direction of gratitude. That's that. Um, is that clear?
Yes, yes. I like the qualifier for the future, or I wish I was more grateful right now, or I'm hoping to be more grateful for this in the future. I remember a story that I heard. Actually, it's from the book The Passion Test. And the author of the book talks about when she went to India and she was visiting one of the spiritual leaders' homes. And the house caught fire, which was a terrible tragedy. It was a candle burning, and the whole house caught on fire. And the whole house didn't burn down, but much of the several rooms burned down with their things in the room. And when they put out the fire, the spiritual leader said, "It is a blessing. It is a blessing." And the whole family echoed that. It is a blessing. And I get tears in my eyes now, even just recanting that story, because especially in the moment when they just literally escaped with their lives and their property was damaged, their things were gone, they could have easily just been angry. And this woman actually started the fire and they could have blamed her. But instead, they said it is a blessing. And that his whole family also echoed that. And that to me is a very high consciousness that that spiritual leader had. And that he was a leader of his family. I'm all tearing up and crying now. It just really impacts me.
Yes, this is indeed
And in
a
that.
very important story because it does very much illustrate the the most important thing. It's how you respond to the difficulty and the challenge that changes your reality completely. And humanity does not yet understand what powerful creative powers they have. And by creative, I am not necessarily referring to artistic, although that's certainly included. However, it is important to know that, as many people say, you create your reality. Humanity has heard this message, but they do not deeply believe it and practice it. And those people who were saying this is a blessing to something that many people would have been wringing their hands and being distraught and destroyed by, which response helped them the most to move through into the next moment? I ask you, wringing of the
Well,
hand.
definitely gratitude. Yeah, the blessing. This is a blessing. Not only not only was it gratitude, but went beyond it to say, this is a blessing. And this is like something good that has been blessed upon us. I mean, that to me, that's an empowered choice in the moment to say, which could have by everyday, ordinary consciousness look like a curse.
Mhm.
Instead, this is a blessing, and we are grateful, and we celebrate, and we're open to what's next. I mean, I don't know that they said all that, but that's the feeling I got from that phrase.
Yes. And so you,
This his family an anthem.
yes, and so you are understanding this very important thing that is part of my message today, is to use your creative powers to create a reality based on love and knowing that you are loved, a reality based on trust instead of fear and anxiety. This is indeed a big challenge for the human race at this time because of the big changes that are happening now. These changes, if seen from the view of an airplane, would look different than being on the street. And this is, of course, very obvious. However, sometimes an airplane view can be helpful because there is always so much more good that is waiting for you just next to the challenge or the difficulty that you are currently moving through, as in the example that you gave. They chose to meet the example with love, trust, and appreciation for all that was given. And because of that, their ability to move forward will be greatly enhanced. And this is the important point that I wish to make.
And I know this consciously, and I try to choose, but as a human, in the moment, our practiced response, I will say, or my practiced response is more the curse side, and and even curse words coming out of my mouth. And how can I remember in those difficult moments? I think if I can more remember in those difficult moments to turn towards gratitude, to turn towards blessing, then I know that I can create more things to be grateful for and to really feel and experience the blessing in everything.
Yes, you are touching on another important issue that I think is confusing for many human beings on the planet right now with all the turmoil that people are experiencing. And it is the remembering, which is not necessarily a successful strategy. A strategy may not perhaps be the correct word here. It is to do this gratitude and blessing, or however you wish to say it, what words come to you in every moment for everything. Starting with the smallest things. And then you begin to build something important in your inner selves, in your heart, in your soul, as the natural response to everything that occurs. And as the difficulties occur and you practice with the smaller difficulties, because it is a practice rather than remembering, you are building something very important for yourself. So that yes, go ahead.
I like that you said it's a practice, to use practice rather than strategy. Because I think strategy comes from our head, but practice comes from inside of our body and our heart. You know, it's in our cells. It's what we've been doing. And so that gratitude practice, many people practice gratitude, but I see that maybe there's an opportunity to do even more. Like, if we're great, you know, writing a gratitude journal of like 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for every day, that could probably help you to look at gratitude more and at things being a blessing. But maybe even going back and thinking about things that have been difficult and reimagining them, or the word consecrating comes to me, so that we can make them holy in some way and grateful for them, so that, because sometimes practice is easier in hindsight. Going forward in the moment, it's hard. But if we have that, so what do you think of that, about going back and being grateful for things that maybe we've seen as a curse or a bad thing?
I believe that this is a valuable practice for human beings. And if this is something that you believe in your heart will be helpful to constantly keep gratitude and love and trust as a regular part of your thoughts and as a regular part of your everyday beingness, then this is good. Gratitude and love and forgiveness are all qualities that you can understand as an ocean. And this ocean is something that you can choose to dip into, to swim into, to dive deep into, and to drown into. By drowning, it is the holy act of surrendering to gratitude, to love, as the only thing that is. This is a major practice, and many human beings, as the story that you gave before, the teacher had clearly um, drowned in gratitude and in love and in acceptance of what is, and was able to love whatever it was that was occurring. And this does not happen overnight. However, if you can consider that any act that allows you to swim in gratitude, that this is good. So the idea that you have put forth can be a successful idea. And it is, perhaps it will help you to constantly experience this in the moment as well, because that is the ultimate gain. The ultimate goal is to experience the trust that you are loved and the gratitude and the blessing of each moment. Even when things that are happening are very challenging, to know that your response of gratitude will raise your vibration into a state that will allow you to swim into your next moment with more grace.
That's so beautiful, Mother Mary. Thank you so much. What a wonderful image of diving into and surrendering to gratitude and love. Thank you. Thank you, Sumaya.
You're
This
welcome.
has been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to more. This is awesome.
I've lost track of time. Are we about at time? Thank you so much.
Yes, we are.
Questions. I really appreciate your questions. And we tune in again for our next go around with Cynthia asking questions of Mother Mary. And once again, this is Sumaya O'Grady, Dove Oracle Priestess, being interviewed by Cynthia Stott, Global Visibility Influencer. And it's been my joy to be with you now. Thank you so much for watching.